Hello, everyone. My name is Harman, and I hope everyone is doing well. Today, I will be presenting on incentives and control systems. So let's get straight into it. As for the agenda for this presentation, as I said, we will be going over two topics. First, we will talk about incentives, where we will talk about performance measures, team-based compensation, and executive compensation plans. Then we'll turn it over and start talking about some control systems, where we'll talk about diagnostic systems, boundary systems, and belief systems. And finally, to end off the presentation, we will get into some review. So jumping into incentive plans, for a company to have strong incentive plans, first they're going to need to set some performance goals. And they should do this by using book value accounting measures and continuous improvement components. Once these are set, we need to come up with performance measures. And for a performance measure to be preferred, it should include some of the following characteristics that are included on this slide. First off, it should relate directly to a manager's performance, and it should be sensitive to change upon a manager's performance. So for example, if a manager does something good, this performance measure should change and indicate that. Other good performance measures include ones that do not change because of factors that are outside of a manager's control, and these measures should motivate managers. It is very important to set a strong performance measure because if not, managers or employees will start to put in less effort if they see that their current effort is not being recognized. As for incentive plans, the first one we're going to talk about here is team-based compensation. And essentially, what this is rewarding your employees for working in teams and reaching a unified goal. So essentially, a goal will be set, and once the team works effectively to reach that unified goal, everyone on the team will receive compensation. And team-based compensation is starting to gain a lot of popularity because employees can get better results when working in teams rather than working alone. And when you use team-based compensation, it rewards employees for working together effectively, and it rewards collaboration, cooperation, and achieving that unified goal. By implementing an incentive plan like this, it'll also decrease internal competition between employees. And as we all know, working in teams is a trait that everyone needs. So by having team-based compensation, it's really building everyone's teamworking skills in your organization. As for an example of team-based compensation, I can draw from one of my personal experiences. I actually used to work at a retailer store where there was 4 different departments. And essentially, the retailers came out with their new Visa card and they wanted to maximize their applicants. And to do this, they made a team-based compensation incentive where the department that had the most successful Visa applicants got a bonus on their paycheck. By implementing this team-based compensation, me and my teammates worked effectively and collaborated to try to get the most Visa applicants because we wanted to reach that unified goal of getting that bonus on our paychecks. So this is a great example where this retailer implemented a team-based compensation and it really helped the employees reach our unified goal. Next up in incentives, we have executive compensation. This is given out when an organizational goal is achieved. And executive compensation is based on both financial and non-financial performance measures. These can include cash bonuses, an increase in salary, long-term incentives like stock options, and other incentives such as extra days off and maybe a new office. An example of an executive compensation plan includes a manager achieving an organizational goal of increasing customer satisfaction by 5% by the end of the year. Because this goal was accomplished due to the manager's actions, he received a brand new office at the top of the building with a nice view. This is an example of an executive compensation plan. We'll now shift our discussion over to control systems. As you may have learned in some other classes, control systems are what help an organization run effectively internally. As for the first control system that we will discuss, it is going to be a diagnostic control system. This control system essentially analyzes a firm's performance by monitoring and evaluating critical performance criteria. These criteria can include the following: ROI, RI, customer satisfaction, and employee satisfaction. Although this system is not efficient alone, it must be paired with other control systems. The next control system is a boundary system. This is where an organization sets codes of conduct that are expected to be followed by all employees. The codes of conduct should include list of actions that should not be done, appropriate actions that should be taken, along with appropriate and inappropriate behaviors. I've taken a little bit of TELUS's code of conduct to show an example. It clearly shows appropriate actions that should be taken by TELUS employees. For example, promoting integrity and creating and maintaining a work environment where team members feel comfortable speaking up. This is an example of a boundary system. The final control system I will discuss is the belief control system. This is where an organization sets their mission, purpose, and core values. These should all be effectively communicated to everyone in the organization, and it should motivate everyone in the organization. A mission and purpose is essentially the goal that the organization is trying to achieve, and the core values are values that everyone in the organization is gonna follow so the organization can reach these goals. As an example, I've brought Ernst & Young's purpose and values. EY's purpose is to build a better working world. And they're going to do this by their organization following the values of demonstrating integrity and respect, by showing enthusiasm, and building relationships based on doing the right thing. This is an example of the belief control system. Finally, we will end off with some review. I have 2 quick and easy questions here to just review everything that we went over in the presentation. The first question is, Laura & Company sets and communicates a code of conduct to all their employees that they expect to be followed. What control system has the company implemented? A. Belief control system, B. Diagnostic control system, or C. A boundary control system? The answer is C. A boundary control system has been implemented. The next and final review question I have is the following. Laura & Company has set an incentive for their manager that rewards him with a new office if customer satisfaction surveys increase by 5%. What incentive system was implemented by the company? A. Team-based compensation, or B. Executive compensation? The answer is B. Executive compensation. These are the references used for my presentation, and this will conclude my presentation. I appreciate everyone listening, and I look forward to your guys' questions.